All right. So, for anyone joining on the decision table right now, welcome. You are so welcome here. And I'm going to be the one who's having a conversation, and it's going to be a short one today. I had a guest booked in, and they haven't turned up. So, I just wanted to do a quick one because we are actually going to be getting on the road. So, the decision table will be moving around a little bit in the next little while. And while I was sitting here, I was like, there's a few things I'd love to some thoughts that I'm having and some conversations with leaders across the globe right now that I think could be quite beneficial to have some thoughts and to just share it with you today. So if you are, on this now, I hope you're doing okay. I hope that you're finding what you need in this season that is kind of crazy right now, and that you have the support that you need. And I put a post out yesterday literally to just reach out and say, if any of my friends are struggling, please let me know. And I don't say that lightly right now, because I truly believe that we are in a time where we need to connect more as human beings. And for anyone that knows any of my work, I'm very 100% set on us really getting back to humanity and everything around us as human beings and caring for each other. But this sounds so vast and so big sometimes that I think we can get lost in that. And I want to make sure that it comes back to being as simple as, how are you? What's happening? What's going on in your world? And just shout out. I've been in conversations with so many leaders, and so many leaders going through so many things. So I want to make sure that there's no sales around that. There's no anything. I just want to make sure you're doing great. So connect with me, and let's make sure that we're supporting each other as we continue forward. So I just wanted to say that. And like I said, I put a post out yesterday going, if there's any of my friends struggling, let me know, because I know it's kind of tough. And on that, one of the things that I've found so beneficial in the last little while, and I hope that this can encourage anyone that's maybe going through some things. Someone said, hello, dear. Hello. I'm not sure who you are, because when it comes through on the StreamYard, it says Facebook user if you haven't given it permission. But one of the things that is, really beneficial at these times is to make sure that you've got a tight support system around you. When there's tricky things, challenges, hard times, it's even more so and more important to have, people that are in your court that have got your back. And I know it's not always been easy, actually, for me to ask for help. It's not always been easy for me to be vulnerable and go, hey, actually, today I'm not having such a great day. Or, you know what? We're almost 6 months into the year, and it's been a hard year. And I feel like even just this week, there's been a lot of things that I've just gone, you know what, that fire's back in the belly. And it's not like anything amazing has happened. It's not even that some of those challenges aren't in place. Hey, Paul, good to see you. And I'm so glad you're here. But I think, and I hope you're doing well, Paul. Let me know how you're doing. I think one of the important things is that although it's been kind of a hard journey with a lot of things going on, I have felt the most supported in my world at this time. And I think that is because I've really surrounded myself with amazing people from across the globe. So if there's one thing I can say is make sure you have a beautiful inner circle around you that supports you, and own it. Like if it's a tough day, have a tough day and know how to sort of make sure you're filling yourself up with good things and good people around you. So that's one of the things. And so I just wanted to follow on, because I know I did put a post out there. And for those that saw it, you liked it, and I've reached out to you as well, and some have reached out personally behind. And I don't say it lightly to say, let me know what's going on in your world so I can best support you as well. So that's just a piece of ownership. Now, the other thing that and again, you know that I say we talk about looking through different lenses, and this is part of the new approach to leadership as we continue to keep moving in a forward sort of direction. How do we use different lenses? And one of the lenses that I believe is so beneficial for all of us, if we look through the lens of ownership. Excuse me. What does that mean? What does ownership mean? I think for me personally, and I'd love to know what other people are thinking around ownership, but for me personally, ownership means that I take responsibility of the decisions that I'm going to be making. And when I've looked through a lens of, and maybe it's an awareness, and I've created some awareness around something, then I've got to take ownership. And so ownership becomes important when we look through it, because that's me going, what am I going to take responsibility for? When I make this decision, what impact is this going to have? Not just on me personally, because I always look through that, but also on those that are in the world around me, the sphere of influence. Maybe it's the collective or the communities that I'm involved in. Maybe it's, what does that impact have, not just here, but across the world as well. So, ownership for me is an important piece. And I wonder how often when you're making decisions that you start blaming others when it goes wrong. Boy, trust me, I've had those moments where we blame others. And I always, even just that, I was just thinking about it then, that victim mentality kind of thing, that comes from it when you start blaming others, or you don't make a decision because I'm waiting on someone else. I think when you take ownership, there's a sense of control of going, hey, what can I own from that decision? What can I do? And what am I not going to do as well? And so what I mean by that is, if it's someone else is treating you in a way that is not beneficial to you or adding value, and that's when that victim sort of side of it can come in, I can choose whether I'm going to let that direct my next decision. I can choose to go, is this something that I'm going to let, affect all the decisions I make from this moment on? And I think it's those things that we can start choosing whether we own a decision or not. I didn't say it was easy. I didn't say it's a good, it's the easy road, the good road. I just say I have seen so many results because I have looked through the lens of ownership and begun to take ownership in decisions I do. And even like those times that are challenging, that you've got to work that little harder. Or I was talking to a friend this week, and it's not even just that you're working harder. It's sometimes, especially in the world that we've been at, it's been so stimulated, and a lot of people, maybe you're one of them, maybe I've been one of these over the time too, if I think about it, right? That we've celebrated successes as big, big wins. And I mean the big ones. Oh, they've just got this qualification. Oh, they've got this many clients in their organization now. Oh, they've just made this amount of dollars. And we've put things like that as indicators to success. And I think that one of the things that we can do better as we continue to move forward is maybe we need to put indicators on things and measurements on things that are maybe the small wins, the things that have to be done. And honestly, if you get those things done, They are wins. They are real wins. Sorry, give me 2 ticks. Okay, still fighting, not coughing every time I talk. Okay, so let's think about, and this is something that I was talking to this friend about, going, I have just figured it out. I have got to celebrate and own that I am making wins that maybe not wins to other people, but they are so wins to me. And that's often when you've got to do those things in life that maybe you've got to put off or you've put off before, right? And they've got to get done, but they're not always the things that give you those, that others can go, wow, that's awesome, well done. But kind of are the things missing if you don't do them now. And it's those kind of things that sometimes I don't get excited to get up every morning and do those things. I don't know about you. Maybe you're a saint in that way and you're able to do that. And if so, give me some of that. I'm not in that way. And so some of those things, it's like, for me, exercise. I've always enjoyed exercise, but I've enjoyed it because I knew that I would get to that next piece. And I would see results, and in a lot of ways, I set very small goals to make sure that I would keep to the journey. I had forgotten to do that in my workspace. I'd forgotten to do it in my life, in my personal world. And I think because of that, it was almost like you got that dry land in between. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that ever goes through this. Hey, I'd love to know if I am. If you're one of those people, make sure in, the comments below that you let me know. Are you one of these people that have been through those dry lands, are going through those dry lands? I have learned that those reasons for me personally, those dry lands, was because I didn't have measurements or indicators that were those small wins that kept me going. And I didn't have those people around me that almost I'm letting them know, hey, I just did this right now. And the world might not see that as amazing, but they know that that is something that truly was work in my world, and that was amazing. I got it done, and they celebrated that with me, just as I am celebrating those small things. So, we need to take ownership to how we're feeling, what decisions we're making. And I think that's one of the things that, for me, looking through the lens of ownership, that some of those changes happen and the growth happens because of that, whether it's personally or professionally, whether it's economic growth happening or the way that we're impacting culture going forward. It's in these small things, these indicators, knowing these measurements, that we have a choice whether we turn up, do that well, we ignore it, they don't get done, and then there's massive gaps between what we're trying to do and where we want to go. So I hope this is helpful because, I wanted to kind of just bring this kind of conversation at the table because, as we continue to have this part of the series of conversations on the decision table, part of that is making sure that we're looking, and our lens that we're using on this series is looking through the lens of ownership. And I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an insight of what that means for me and why this becomes an important conversation at the decision table. Because, like I said, there's been many years in my life that I probably didn't have this as a lens, if I'm to be truly honest. And I would have blamed other people. And they were the times when I lived in a lot of hurt. They were the times when, honestly, there was lack of confidence in who I was, and who I am now is so different to that because I take ownership of my decisions. But I also tell you that because I take ownership of my decisions, when it becomes those tough calls, and anyone that's kind of in my inner circle, no, I battle with that because I know I can't let it go on too long. I know that I need to act upon those tough calls straight away because I need to take my ownership of what's involved in that. And I know that it affects my growth if I don't. And, this is always, it's like a muscle that you got to keep working on. It doesn't come easy. And I'd love to know, what taking ownership has done in your world, what that looks like for you, what taking ownership, what you understand that to be in what you're doing, and how that then has helped you to get where you are, or getting where you are, or do the journey well that you're on at this moment. We're all on different pathways. And, I always talk about building, this ecosystem. And so there's many, many pathways within that ecosystem. And sometimes, when we hit that wall or those dry spaces, as I talked about earlier, it's easy to get lost in that and consumed by it or overwhelmed by it. I want you to understand you're not alone on those moments. We all have them. And I can tell you, as this last season that we've all hit across the globe has continued, there are many leaders at this moment who are having to deal with this dry spell, this I'm not sure how I'm exhausted, and I'm unsure how to keep moving when I feel like there's not much left in the tank, even though I know that what I'm doing is great and awesome. And I want to encourage you, reach out, support, find that inner circle, create people around you so that you've got accountability, but make sure that those measurements, the indicators that you have or set, are small things as well as the big things. Like success is so many things for so many, for everyone, very, very different. Yet as the world, we have tended to put what success looks like and then only celebrated what that looks like as the worldly standards, whatever that may be. And I think we need to change that, and that needs to look different. So this is what I wanted to have a conversation around on the decision table today. And I'm sure my guest that I was going to have on here, we will reschedule that and make sure that he comes on, because I am excited about that. And I think, when we have our conversation, it's definitely going to be looking through the lens of ownership, through the narrative, and through your ability or adaptability to change, and looking at vision and how this has a huge impact on what you own, then others own, and then what is the outcome at the table. So if you have someone in your world that you go, Kira-Marie, you need to have a conversation with, please refer them. We are going to be amping up conversations on the decision table over this next little while. We have the Global Human Intelligence Forum in October. And anyone that was in last year's one, it was an amazing, amazing forum with just phenomenal speakers who, by the way, just come with a topic. And then I get to do what I do on the decision table in a lot of ways, have a conversation, ask them questions so that we can go down deeper behind the scenes of why they see it so important and what they're thinking in this way. And then we do open forum conversation where everyone can ask questions, be involved in that conversation. So I'm starting to have to think about putting all that together. And, I'm getting excited about who I need to even have at the forum, the topics we'll talk on, and, where we'll go with those conversations. So, this is the time to get people in my world to have conversations and see where we can, really help to change what's happening in culture right now across leadership. And then the other side of it is we've got the Leaders Movement Parlay, the next one. So if you were at the first one last, I can't remember when we held that, but we've got the next one in August. So we've got a couple of things that are getting really excited. And guess what? I do have to share this because my cover for my book has just come back, and I designed it, and then we got it looking so that we could start putting it on social media once we want to do the pre-launch. And so I wanted something visually because I am working very, very hard to get the first edit, because I want to release Humanity as Stakeholders, The Future of Leadership. That's the book at the Global Human Intelligence Forum. So, and I want to be able to give that to everyone that comes to the forum. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's so many projects that I'm working on, and I will keep updating you. But I did want to just to have a conversation with you and use this time to connect again with you, let you know where we're heading with the decision table over this series that we're doing through the lens of ownership, and then just reach out to you. Just be real and know that, this fellow leader over here is here for you, here to support you. And if I can be of any benefit to you, your world, then reach out. And definitely, if you know anyone to refer to be on the decision table, we are putting it into a podcast as well. So that's going to be released very soon as well. So we are going to start amping a lot up and getting more out. But the only way we can do that is if you come on board and you help. It takes a tribe to change culture. So this is my reach out to you. I own my piece, you own your piece, and together as a collective, let's bring the change together. Yeah. All right. Big love. I need to complete here because I need to pack up and get on the road. Huge love to you.